Record sales barely touch the sides anymore when it comes to reaching #1. And that is largely because of these things. See, music streaming has been taking off over recent years, and now it seems to be taking over.
Overnight, you can literally have millions of streams.
Case in point, a Boogie with the Hoodie. His album hit #1 recently in the US. It only sold around 800 copies. It was the 83 million streams that got this to the top.
The rise of the streaming industry has taken the industry completely by surprise.
The market has been evolving for years.
This amazing little device holds 1,000 songs, and it goes right in my pocket.
The iPod leading to the iTunes store, record labels reluctantly switching to a paid download model because services like Napster force their hands.
Anytime you can give people a product for free or for less money, ultimately that's what's going to win out.
Then along came Spotify, offering streaming where users effectively rent access to a catalogue of millions of songs for a monthly fee, followed by all the other big names keen to get in on the trend.
You're seeing the entirety of the industry kind of bow to it and understand that this is now an essential part of how people are consuming music.
For some musicians, the streaming revolution has been a godsend.
It gives artists who are more like niche the ability to actually have a platform to sell their music.
Willow Robinson, for example.
It's great because I can have a global fan base.
An LA-based artist making music, though not as much cash as he'd like.
How do you feel about the money issue, the fact that you're probably not going to make anywhere near as much streaming as you might do if you had a digital version, you know, that people could buy or it was in a store?
I mean, I think it would be good if there was a more even distribution of wealth, because there's a lot of money being made on streaming platforms like Spotify and Apple Music, and the artist at the moment is making like 0.0003 of a penny on each stream or something. You just have to work your way up to the top, and then that's where the money comes.
Even those at the top not making much of this from streaming. Take Adele, for example, or Taylor Swift, or even the late Prince. Artists who very publicly withheld their music from streaming services because they felt they rip musicians off.
You are really finding it difficult as a songwriter to sustain your life as a songwriter.
Because big streaming numbers don't necessarily mean big bucks. The co-producer of this Justin Bieber hit, for example, streamed tens of millions of times. He made only a few $100s.
I'm all about that bass.
This Meghan Trainor hit, 178 million streams, only netting one of the writers around $5,500.
There was no legislation set up to recognize that streaming was a new technology.
There is now, though. Musician and producer Michelle Featherstone was one of those who took the fight all the way to the top, getting a bill passed which will increase the amount that is paid per stream in the future.
I think ultimately doing it this way affords the musician and the songwriter to be paid fairly, and that's the most important thing.
This is an industry expected to keep growing. 350 million streamers expected by 2022. Those behind the music hoping they won't be left playing for pennies. Lavelle, CGTN, Los Angeles.